What's up? What's up? What's up? Who that everyone? Who that everyone? Whoo, man.
Woo, man.
That was a tough one in the dome today, Dave. Man, that was tough.
Definitely nothing sexy about that one, man.
Man, I tell you, we're gonna dive in today with everybody. Everybody's been messaging me and Dave texting us. Be sure to
Yeah.
share the page, spread the word, on our podcast. We appreciate it. We like everybody joining in. We putting the word out there. We're giving you the do's and don'ts. What happened? What we should have did. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. It was a mess
Oh
today.
yeah.
So what's your take on it, Dave? Let's go, man.
Man, I walked down the street for a minute with my dog, man. I've seen six fires, an old lady chasing people with bats, dude. I've seen some
What's
weird
up,
shit happening,
signature?
man. No, but it's pretty bad, man. I mean, this isn't like it feels like. I just want to say this, man. Any big music fan, or anybody knows music in general, man, it feels like Van Halen, okay? Great rock and roll Hall of Famers, man. There's like always that team David Lee Roth and team Sammy Hagar. I feel like that's how it is with whoever plays quarterback for the Saints in the last couple of years, man. I mean, and I think the biggest problem is like nobody wanted to accept that this was going to happen. But when you, like I said, I've said it 1,000 times, Sean Payton, Drew Brees, consecutive years, you lose those
What's
guys.
up, Lance?
You're going to have a down period, Rich. And I think the problem is I think this is just our new reality, man. And I mean, honestly, Carr wasn't good today. Winston wasn't good in the second half of last week. There's blame game going on, but it gets exhausting after a while. And I mean, there's a common theme that's going on here, and I think it all comes down to coaching. And I don't think nothing's going to get done immediately, but something might get done soon enough, which I hope. But I mean, let's be real. It's play calling, man. I mean, it's a lot of things. This team has a problem right now, and it goes beyond quarterback because they're both playing rough football right now. I mean, neither quarterback has looked good the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, look, we can blame it on a million things. We can blame it on coach, and we can blame it on James. I mean, we can blame it on Carl. We can blame it on James. To me, Carl, he missed a lot of throws today. He looks indecisive. He's holding on to the ball a lot. And you can't just put all the blame on him. And I tell you, I was disappointed in the defense too, man, because the defense struggled today.
They did, man. They were getting pounded by. They made Rachaad White look a lot better than I thought he would look, man. I mean, and Mike Evans missing most of the game, dude. I mean, let's be real. I mean, he came out in the first half and didn't come back in the second. And Chris Godwin's a beast. I mean, we've talked about him a lot on his show, but I mean, they let other guys beat him. I mean, this kid Tompkins came out of nowhere. Cade Otton had a touchdown wide open. I mean, nobody even seen him. I mean, they were allowing Baker Mayfield to pretty much do what he wanted. We didn't get any pressure on him. They couldn't stop the run.
Yeah,
it wasn't a good effort, man. I mean,
even though Lattimore didn't. I mean, even though Mike Evans went out early, Lattimore, I was there. Lattimore was getting the better of him today. Really, truthfully, I mean, before he got hurt, and on that on that pass interference call, the only reason he tackled Mike Evans because Mike Evans was going to the house.
Oh, it was a touchdown, yeah. And Richie, and I know with y'all being at the game, on TV, Evans was very handsy, and I understand the pass interference was a legit call. But Evans was a little handsy first, but I think Lattimore, it was actually a smart play, like you said, because the fact that they didn't throw that flag, you can't play referee. He had to just do whatever he could. I mean, Evans basically kind of swatted him away with two hands, and, Lattimore tackled him. I mean, it is what it is. You live to fight another day,
I thought Carl would have had a better game today, being that they did protect him at times. He had the protection. At the protection, they cleaned up a little bit. I mean, they still got a long ways to go, but they cleaned up enough for him to step up in the pocket, make throws. And on a few of those drives, I think he could have extended the play just for running it for a few yards for the first down.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I look at the numbers today. I'm looking at it, after the game, and I'm like, man, we realize he's throwing the ball underneath the line. But I think it was like 3.5 yards of completion, man. I mean, you got to get those numbers higher, man. Like Matthew McConaughey said in Wolf of Wall Street, man, those are rookie numbers. You gotta work on those numbers. 3.5 yards of completion, dude, ain't gonna cut it. We gotta open some things up. But I mean, I asked the question, is it all? I mean, like I said, it's not all on one player. I don't like to ever pin a loss on one player.
Listen, so Lance's comment, not to cut you off, I apologize. Lance's comment, we played with no energy. I got that feeling too.
I agree completely. I thought it was a shit effort. This was one of the worst efforts. Sean Payton wouldn't have accepted this. I know Sean Payton lost. He won today, right? He won, Sean. But man, listen, I don't want to hear something like that's what I think everybody puts into perspective what he does with Denver. I look at what he did here and just look at what we followed it up with. And it's like, dude, he would have never accepted that effort. Somebody would have been in some serious shit. Somebody would have lost a job for a week or two, or somebody would have been fired after that because, dude, it was terrible, dude. I mean, Look, Carr wasn't good. I'm not waving a flag for Carr every week. I mean, I wanted to give Carr an opportunity. I still want to give him an opportunity, but we got to see what's wrong, dude. I mean, like you said, Olave was kind of hot dogging on some routes. I saw some really weak play up front on the defense. I mean, the tackling was bad.
Me and you briefly talked about that earlier. That the announcer was saying about Olave. Explain to us what was he saying in general?
So Robert Smith wasn't too thrilled about just walking, and he kind of called out a few guys. He was calling out the play calling, which I thought was actually pretty cool. But Robert Smith, the old running back from Ohio State, played for Minnesota for many years, good solid NFL career. He's on there, and he's really kind of complaining about Olave just kind of walking through routes almost. And you look at the replays, like you said, I know being at the Dome, being at games in the past, you see the plays develop a little bit better than at home most of the time, But, it did look like when they showed replays, it looked like there wasn't a lot of precision in the routes. There wasn't a lot of oomph. I mean, it was guys who just kind of running just going through practice routes almost.
I'm not taking away from what you're saying because I believe what you're saying, but he did get nicked up in the beginning of this game too.
Right. He did. And look, he was. I thought for a minute he may come out of the game. I mean, so yeah, dude, it's not to play and it's not to shield anything from Carr because look, dude, Carr missed some significant throws. He took too long in the pocket. I mean, I always criticize Jameis or Andy Dalton for holding the ball too long. I thought Carr held the ball too long on a couple of plays, but I don't know, dude. It's kind of it's really. I started thinking. I said, man, I don't know if we had a better option. We talked about possibly if Jameis started giving Taysom a lot of reps and maybe having like a 60-40, 70-30
we gotta stop with that. We gotta stop with that. I agree. No. You get a listen. To your credit, you get a lot of shit behind that. This is more than Derek Carr and Jameis Winston. As a whole, this whole offense is pitiful right now.
It is, man, and that's why I was talking with somebody on Facebook earlier. I said it's really getting exhausting. I've gotten to the point where, like, man, we've done this since Drew retired. It's like it's Andy's fault, it's Jameis's fault, it's Taysom's fault, it's Carr's fault. You know what I'm saying? It's everybody's fault, but we're not blaming play calling. And Pete Carmichael and Dennis Allen are two guys to me. Listen, man, if I'm the fans, I'm coming out hard on these two guys. And the problem is, I'll tell you what will happen, Richie. They won't fire anybody probably. If they do, I'll be shocked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think they'll fire anybody, dude. I think what will happen is they'll say, oh, well, this was Kamara's first game back. He had to get gelled into the offense. Carr wasn't 100%. They'll use these excuses, the front office. And in the post game, Dennis Allen will come with that. Instead of saying, hey, our play calling absolutely sucks. Carmichael has no rhythm or flow to the offense.
But Dave,
you know what I mean?
Listen, I mean, everybody keeps saying Carmichael. I get it. The play calling at times has been crazy. I mean, it's been suspect.
Yeah.
But when he calls a play, if the line's not blocking it, if the receiver's running a half-hearted route, and the protection's not good, I mean, it's many of different things. All his job is to call a play.
Yeah. No, I mean it is too. I mean, but you got to, it's one of those things that you got to know your personnel. It's like I think right now your line's still kind of a work in progress. Your quarterback's in his fourth game now. Yeah. He started showing some positive signs last week before he got hurt, and he took a couple steps back this week. So it's like I don't know. I think you got to the plays that annoyed me a little bit. And I understand you can throw a little razzle-dazzle once in a while, but here's my thing. I hate that play. Like there was a 2nd and 5, and they had that play. I think Taysom was at quarterback. He flipped it to Carr. He flipped it to Kamara, and it was like a 5-yard loss. It was a 9-yard loss. I take that back. Yeah. I don't love that play there. I mean, if you're going to do something like that, run on first down at least. And if you take that gamble, you got 2 more downs to make up that yardage. You know what I'm saying? 2nd and 5, you got that's a good situation. You got a lot of things on the table. I don't think you have to go to a trick play at that point. Just run a good, efficient play. I mean, there's no play action on this offense. There's no screen game whatsoever.
Yeah, but look, we was fourth. It was fourth, I think 4th and 3 on the 49-yard line. You drop back to throw the ball. I'm like, what is going on? Just run the ball.
Yeah, I don't really understand it at all. I don't get it. It's weird because it's funny. They always talk about the first so many plays are scripted, first 15 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's funny because the first drive, I'm on the phone with a buddy of mine, Adam. It lives towards Lake Charles, and we talk during every timeout basically. And he says, "Hey man, here we go again. Play calling looked pretty good first drive. I'm cool with going for it on 4th down. I like to play with Taysom. I love Taysom throwing the ball on his first snap. I think that set them up to do things that they chose not to do. I think you could have used Taysom a lot more as a passer. I think you could have used Kendra Miller and Kamara with Taysom on the run options. I think they get predictable with that play at times, and I mean, I just don't know if he knows." it's like Carmichael doesn't know how to use his weapons. I mean, Olave, 1 catch today. We've seen it with Juwan Johnson. You know, I mean, we're putting it on Carr a little bit, and some of it does fall on Carr, but some of it has to go on Carmichael, man.
I don't understand what's going on with Juwan Johnson. I don't understand this.
Yeah, it's a weird scenario right now, man.
I mean, we went into this season thinking we was gonna feed the ball to him a lot. What's up, Darren Boy, Darren Bird? I know he's got a lot to say. I don't understand why they just like almost completely taking him out of the offense. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't really get it, man. I don't understand. I don't understand the guys not touching the ball. Like Kendre has a good couple touches, doesn't touch the ball again. Taysom Hill, first drive or two, looks pretty good. We don't go back to him too much for a while. And when we do, it's the same play. We don't get there's zero creativity in this offense. And like I said, you ain't got to reinvent the wheel every game. But I mean, let's be real. Just use a different freaking play. I mean, like I don't know, man. The screen. Where's the screen game with Kamara? I mean, I don't understand that.
One time today.
One time. I was about to say, and it's like it seems like with the way our offense is struggling right now, and they're trying to find themselves. That's the best thing you can do is and like you said, dude, I agree, Richie. The quick outs, the bubble screens, they're not blocking. There's a lot of missed blocks.
Yep.
There was one earlier. I mean, Jimmy Graham laid a pretty decent block on one play, but there was somebody else that missed a horrible block on the outside that Olave, I think. Oh, somebody got drilled on the play. I don't know what you
Fatty, what you got, buddy? You
bad, man.
I was looking up to see where Derek Carr would rank after week 3 in like just either any fantasy ranking or quarterback ranking. Out of 30 quarterbacks that to week 4, he didn't even rank in the top 30.
Wow.
Now, how was that?
Hey, I tell you what, Darren just joined us. Fatty, if Darren can come join us, I really want to get his opinion on this. If he's available, Darren, if you're available, Fatty will send you the link. Join us. If not, I get it.
I'll send him a link through that same one he got it.
That's fine. That's fine. Send him the link. But listen, man, I'm glad you gave that stat, and I'm sure Dave is shocked by that.
No, I mean, I don't know. I got to double check that stat. I mean, no offense. I know Fatty's pretty on point with the stats, but man, like I don't know how he would be. I mean, man, I'm looking at. So he's ranked. He's not in the top 30 of fantasy quarterbacks right now.
He's only had 1 touchdown now out of 4 games.
Right.
And wait, how many did he have any picks today? Because I turned the game off.
No, he hasn't had a turnover.
I don't think he's 1 for 2 and with a fumble, huh? Didn't he fumble today?
There was a fumble. Yeah, there was a fumble.
He turned it over more than touchdowns, and that's only on 2 interceptions and 1 fumble.
No, I mean,
and out of 4 games, 1 touchdown.
I mean, Dave, just think about that. I mean, 1 touchdown in 4 games, dude. We're not getting nowhere like that.
No, you're not, man. I mean, something's got to give it. I mean, to me, the problem is this.
But I mean, to his credit, as a whole, we don't have that many touchdowns.
Well, here's the thing that's not going to happen. Listen, the only way that they're going to bench Carr, and listen, this isn't me. This is just reality. This is if I know a lot of people watch, and I'm not trying to like.
Lance said, Raiders glad we took their trash. Woo.
Hey, I mean, maybe so. I mean, look, what scares me is they had a comment also in this game today. I don't know how many people caught it. I mean, I try to watch every snap. I'm not. Look, I mean, I'll go grab some out the fridge or whatever, but. There was a early in the ball game on the first drive, I want to say it was, they talked about the injury with Derek Carr last week, and he said his first reaction was, wow, if this is something kind of serious, I might be done. I'm in my 30s. And that's a scary thing to hear from your quarterback who you just invested a lot of money in. It's his heart, is his head into this thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I want to say it was, but I mean, now some things are going a little shaky. You got a little bit of an injury going on. Yeah. I'm just worried about his mental toughness at this point. And I mean, not trying to take a shot at Derek Carr, but I'm just saying, when you say, "Oh, I might be done, my career might be over if this injury goes the wrong way with my arm," I mean, that's kind of scary, man.
Hey, but you know what I noticed too about Carr? Carr, even when he was with the Raiders, Carr was always on the sideline, laughing, joking, smiling. You know, one of the. You don't see none of that right now.
I don't know. Look, man, I don't know, and I don't understand what the mood. And to me, with this team right now, the issue is bigger than, and like I said, it's bigger than Derek Carr. It's bigger than Winston. Wow. I mean, I think it's a coaching thing. I really do. I think Dennis Allen.
Dave, Jared just posted.
Not the guy.
We have 2 scoring touchdowns in this offense this year out of 4 games.
And that can't get it done, man. You're not going to get it done that way.
No matter how good your defense is, you are not going to get it done like that.
Yeah, you're not. And I mean, to me, and look, let's be real. I mean, the first 3 games, look, and it sucks because this is the way the organization is going to look at it. I mean, organizations think big picture, and I understand it to a certain degree. And, the average fan, man, we're aggravated, we're pissed off, so we're going to react. And, I mean, and sometimes reaction is needed, no doubt about it. I mean, so, we're going to love the fast reaction or something getting done. But you can almost just predict what's going to happen here. They're not going to do anything just yet. They're going to say, okay, well, Kamara wasn't there 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Which I gave Carr a pass, and I thought he played better in week 3. I mean, before the injury, he was looking a lot better. But they're going to look at Carr and say, hey, man, this is his first week Kamara, not 100%. Pete Carmichael is going to get this free pass because he hasn't had his full team together. Let's be real. That's what's going to happen. Nothing's going to get done. I mean, that's been the same. I hate to say that, but the Saints organization, they're not exactly cutthroat when it comes to that situation. I mean, I think they're going to run out the same crap next week. Now, after next week, if you have a debacle like this week on your hands where you get blown out, offense does the same thing, I think you may see a change at that point. But I got a weird feeling nothing happens this week. I don't think anybody gets demoted. I don't think anybody gets fired.
I just wanted to give you heads up. Darren's in the waiting room, so I'm about to bring him in.
Good deal.
You ready, Darren? You ready to go? Okay. All right.
What's up, D? What's up, brother? What's up? Man, that was a rough one.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Tell us what you think.
Well, I would love to know. We played like shit. Let's get that right. But I would love to know what the actual call is supposed to be on the interception right before halftime.
Yeah, that's a good call, Darren. That's something that we're not talking about either. We should have talked about because that was a big game changer right there, man.
I mean, you got to figure we get the ball on the 25 with some time to score. Instead, we end up having to run it out with the fullback who fumbles. They get the touchdown 2 plays later or whatever. That's a big swing, fellas. That's a big swing.
Yeah.
Listen, Pete Carmichael has to go. I'm not I'm not really wanting to firing somebody in the middle of the season. Listen, Drew Brees made this dude look good. And as a coordinator, I love when you only throwing short routes because guess what? I can have my safeties playing 15 to 13 yards.
Yeah.
First down 10, you throw the ball short, I give you 2 yards. You got second down and 8. Second down.
Hey, Darren. Oh, go ahead.
You're leaving yourself long. Go
ahead, Dave.
See, I want to ask you, Darren, Darren, being a coach and everything, man, this is okay. Robert Smith, I mean, if you watch, I don't know if you went to the game, watched from home, but I watched from home, and Robert Smith saying at one point, he said, man, it feels all their routes are either really short routes or they're running things way beyond what they need to on a 3rd and 5 situation or something like that example, It's like he said, man, there's not enough routes going towards the marker, which makes sense to me. I mean, are you seeing that same thing as a coach? Like, hey, why are y'all running? Why are we clearing out everything, when we need 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, and then just running off somebody, into a little flat route or something like that, where we're, what I'm saying? Like, we're not throwing like 3 guys running towards a marker. We're either clearing out deep or running everything short and flat,
Well, the problem is you can let somebody run deep as a DC. I'd say let them run deep. Don't even worry about they're not throwing the ball. They're not trying to take the top off. With Taysom in the game, the first 2 series, they did right. You know what I mean? Taysom's a big part of our offense, and he's got a cannon. He might not be accurate, but still, you like Snead run down the field and him launch the ball. The safety has to respect that.
Well, the thing about it is, and this is, you know me, I got several people that I know inside this organization, and I know for a fact before the start of the season, Pete Carmichael wanted to retire. The Saints literally begged him to come back for another season.
Why?
They didn't, because Dennis Allen didn't want to change the offense, didn't want to move on to a new coordinator, and didn't want that, that feel for, all right, now I got to be more of a disciplinary on the offense. But I know for a fact that Pete Carmichael was 100% ready to retire.
Hey, we need to make the trade. Tell LSU's offensive coordinator that we want him, and they could take ours.
Yeah, man, I tell you, dude, it feels like a bad copycat of Peyton's system at this point, man. It just feels like a bad ripoff. You know what I mean? There's just no timing in this.
But you being his coach, and I'm not disagreeing with y'all. The play calling has been horrendous, but you as a coach, you can call a play. It's up to the players to run it. You can't have half-hearted routes run. You can't have missed assignments across the offensive line. There's many things that go into play calling. You know that.
You know, and the problem with it is too is I don't know what Olave's problem was, but he ran half-ass routes all day.
Absolutely, Darren. That's what we were just talking about earlier about that. He got called out a couple times by the announcers on that.
I know for a fact Olave is very unhappy right now.
Where is the pass to Jimmy Graham when we inside the 30?
Yeah.
I don't understand it, man. That's what I was telling Dave. We was on the 49-yard line. It was 4th and 3, and you're throwing the ball 40 yards down the field. Just get the first down.
Great. I think it feels like a misuse of assets, man. Does that make any sense? Like I feel like you got enough talent here. And I mean, like I said, Carr didn't play his best game, but man, you invested a lot into this guy. He's got to be your guy in the short term, man. And Carmichael's just not putting him in the best position to win, man.
The play calling has been all over the place. It's been all over the place. I mean,
I think hey, Richie, you want to ask that, and Darren probably feels the same way that we do too, man. Like, you see fans going back and forth. It's getting exhausting with people going after one quarterback or the other every week on Facebook. I mean, it feels like we want to play the blame game every week on every Saints chat there is. And
Darren,
I mean,
did you go to the game today? Let me tell you what, buddy. I'm gonna tell you something I've never seen. I'm gonna tell you right now. It wasn't the whole dome, but many of sections were screaming, "Carr, you suck! Carr, you suck!" I'm like, oh my God, here we go.
See, that's the problem. That's the problem I have with it, though. Whether it's Carr, whether it's Winston, whether it's Taysom, whether it's the rookie. Listen, they wear black and gold. That's our quarterback. We should not do that. That's bad. That's just like LSU with Old Piss. They throwing shit on the field. Come on, man. We got to be better than that as people.
But listen, we putting a lot on the offense. But listen, let's get on this defense a little bit because they made Baker Mayfield look like an all-pro.
Yeah, dude, he was pretty efficient today, man. I mean, he looked like the guy that they thought they were getting with the #1 pick. I mean, he was rolling out, sensing the pocket well. I mean, it's just, dude, it feels like we put no pressure on him, but we were getting gashed at times by Rachaad White too, man. I mean, it just felt like it didn't feel like our best effort all around. Like Darren was saying earlier, and Richie, you said it earlier, it just felt like a lackluster effort on every facet.
I will say this, and I know for a fact this is one of Darren's guys. Darren loves DeMario. It's one of his guys. I know that.
I do.
I will tell you this, and I'm not being mean because I love DeMario Davis. Let me say that first. Love DeMario Davis. I think DeMario Davis is one of my all-time favorite Saints.
Absolutely.
But me personally, Darren, I think DeMario has lost his step.
I mean, he is getting older, but the problem I have with it is, even as Dennis Allen, do we really think that Zach Bond is better than Jalen Smith?
Right, that's a good question too. Yeah,
not at all.
Well, what the hell was we thinking with that? And not only that, DeMario Davis is the best when we let him blitz some. You know how many times him and Werner came up to the line today acting like they was going to blitz and didn't even think about it?
Yeah. But Darren, you know what I noticed today too? I like our defensive line, but I think with the change of defensive linemen that we have now, we're not that good against the run anymore.
Cam Jordan sucks this year.
I'll tell y'all guys one thing. I think we hit on a draft pick with Brissy. I think that kid to me was the best defensive lineman we had today.
They take him off the field too much. They take him off the field too much.
Today he stood out as our best. I think Granderson before today was probably our best D lineman, but I mean today I think he stole the show a little bit. I mean,
what's up with Cam? Does Cam even have a sack this year or one?
Cam, he don't even have a pressure, I think.
Nah, Cam looks a little slow off. Like you said, the age I know is taking its toll. He looks slow.
Like you just said, the age, like what you said with DeMario, same thing. This is going into Cam. This is what? This is Cam's 11th season.
Yeah,
I thought it was 12, but yeah, it's got to be 11th.
It might be 12. It might be 12.
Be up there.
But I mean, like you said, this defense is getting long in the tooth, dude. That's a fact. And look, I don't know what was going on with Lattimore. Lattimore is my favorite player. I got his jersey. I don't know what he was thinking today, because he didn't. Today was his worst game of the season.
Wow, he didn't give up that much. They put
Evans was cooking him before he got hurt.
Bro, do you realize Evans caught 2 passes for 20 yards?
But before that, on the field, and that one he tackled him on pass interference, he don't tackle him. That's a touchdown. That was all day touchdown.
You know, Richie, I think some of the issues was on the defensive side of the ball too, in terms of coaching and preparation too. Because I mean, I don't know, Darren might be able to tell you. I noticed this a lot too. Man, we were covering Chris Godwin, who's a damn good receiver. We were covering that guy at times with Pete Warner, and I mean, to me, that's a disaster waiting to happen. I mean, Pete's a solid player, man, no doubt. But Chris Godwin, man, is like, to me, one of the better receivers in the league. And I mean,
who's the other kid?
Oh goodness, they had the other. Yeah, they were running out some newbies out there, man. The last 2 weeks, I'm having a blank on that guy's name, man. Is it 27?
He made a pick today. He's the one that made the pick, right?
We couldn't capitalize on. We couldn't even get points out of that.
Right.
But was that on us or was that really on the referees?
The thing,
both sides of the ball.
Here's the deal, Darren. I noticed this too today. We play better when we in man coverage.
Yeah.
We got the cornerbacks to do it. Why are you backing up 7 yards away from the receiver and going to zone?
And Chris Godwin will eat that up, man. Guys like him, they will eat that zone. He's very similar to Michael Thomas. You know, they're a little different, but they got some similarities, man. And he'll eat that zone all day long.
What's up, Fatty?
Hey, I want to get in on this conversation with the defense. I mean, I have no issues with the defense on even how they play today. For the fact that what the hell everybody expect from when your offense is giving you 3 points? I mean, they're not doing anything that's helped this defense in 4 weeks at all. We just said Derek Carr stats. He's got 1 touchdown in 4 games for 2 interceptions and a fumble. They're not doing nothing for the defense. Defense is playing fine. They gave up them points today, but shit, I mean, what else are they supposed to do? They can't score points too.
Yeah. I mean, what are we just going to come to the conclusion, guys? Is this team just not that good?
No, it's bad play calling and bad quarterback, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, though.
We're not good.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
I mean, I think a lot of things need fixing, man. A lot of things need repairing on this team right now.
We are not a playoff caliber team. Derek Carr looks like a deer in headlights, and I like this Derek Carr signing.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
But here's the question. Like, how much money is he? What is 150?
3.5 yards of completion. I mean, like, look at Josh Allen, for instance. I know we're talking about one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league with Allen, but Allen was like, I think it was almost 9 yards of completion today against Miami. And I mean, you know, we're getting 3.5 yards per completion with Derek Carr right now. I mean, it's got to get better. You know,
I throw that.
Well, like I said, he's not even in the top 30 starting this week. The top 30.
I mean, look, one of the viewers just said, start the rebuild now.
It's hard now. See, to me, I think if you were going to do that, Richie, I mean, I'm not saying you can't, but I mean, I think if you're going to do it, it seemed like last year would have been the year to do it. When Peyton was gone, Breeze was gone.
Yeah, we can't.
They should have had a quarterback ready to go under Breeze, like they did with Aaron Rodgers.
They tried.
They tried. They didn't. No, they didn't try. They didn't. No, they didn't draft anyone high enough. They were trying to get these late picks. Now, if Jalen Daniels was around when Sean Payton and Breeze was around, that would be the perfect guy, in my opinion, from LSU. And you could let him play for, just let him sit for a year or 2 and learn. I think he would have been like a guy you want.
There's good quarterbacks.
They need a quarterback that's going to be able to sit a year or 2 to learn. I don't never think it works with rookie quarterbacks.
Hey,
I've never been a believer.
This is the year of the quarterbacks. They got some good quarterbacks coming up. Western Kentucky's quarterback, Duke's quarterback. I mean,
unfortunately, there's none in the SEC.
Hey, true.
What you mean? Hey, why wouldn't you draft LSU?
I'll tell you, Jay Daniels, he makes a good pro prospect, man, for sure. I mean, I would.
If we had a defense at LSU, nobody would be talking about that right now. Because guess what? The kid's averaging. I mean, Fatty can pull it up. Look, you can't. Not a top 6 quarterback.
Listen, I can't disagree with you. College football right now, the defense in college football right now is horrible.
I mean, look at your team. Y'all blew Colorado doors off, and y'all let them come back within 7 because defensive coordinators get soft. I'm not a soft defensive coordinator, even if I take my starters out, I still have the same scheme. I'm not changing it up for players. My scheme is my scheme against their players. You get what I'm saying about that?
You see, listen. One of our viewers just said, Chuck Thomas, by the way, no one fights alone. That's my board member. listen, he made a point. He said, even if you get a young rookie, who's he going to learn from?
I mean, look, Richie, I mean, you love to have an ideal situation like the Packers had, but Richie, you got to bring somebody in. I mean, Joe.
All right, here's the stats on Jalen Daniels. For this year, he's attempted 160, completed 117 for 73.1 completion rate with 1,700 yards, 10 yards average, 16 TDs, 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he's not the problem there in Baton Rouge. It's not him. I mean, that kid, look, if he's on the board, the Saints are picking.
LSU don't have the greatest offensive line either.
You can also get You can also go get Tulane's quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, you can, but I mean, I think Daniels, man, he's got a really good canvas to work with. I mean, that dude, his running ability is insane. He fits the modern quarterback.
I don't know if y'all noticed it or not. Go check that kid out in Washington because he's tearing it up right now.
Yeah, although I mean, like we were just talking about earlier, it's a rich quarterback draft. Rich, you almost have to take a look if you're the Saints. I mean, look, Carr's, he's already in his 30s. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going to draft a quarterback in the first round and starting the retool. I don't think it's gonna be a total tear down rebuild, but the retool.
Why not, Dave? Why not a complete tear down?
I think if you'd have did it, you should have did it 2 years ago. The problem is now you've extended contracts. Now you've gotten yourself into further cap situations. I mean, look, we talked about this cap situation a couple of years ago. We knew we were going to lose Hendrickson, Armstead, Marcus Williams. I mean, look, we were on a podcast, another podcast, and some guys didn't want to believe that was coming. But you could see the writing on the wall. I mean, you look at numbers don't lie. I mean, that cap space is shrinking. You got these contracts. You're backlogging. You're restructuring this guy. Listen, the restructures don't make the money go away. It just gets stopped going down the road.
Everybody needs to stop with the Jameis Winston against the Derek Carr because you can combine them both, and neither one of them's worth nothing right now.
And look, Richie, me and you had this conversation earlier. I'm like, hey, dude, why not just play Hill at this point? Because I mean, honestly, I got more faith in him than probably the other two right now. But I mean, but we got to stop picking these sides and going crazy.
When he's ready, give Haener a try. Why don't you do that?
Well, he's got to get off his PEDs and his aerobics or whatever he's doing right now. But he's,
because he's not the answer neither. But here's the deal: if the Saints they got a lot of teams that don't need a quarterback now.
Right.
So listen, you got, Baker's good in Tampa now. Atlanta sold on their quarterback. Carolina sold on their quarterback. So that's three teams right there in our division.
All right, what about Shedeur Sanders if he falls to you?
Absolutely.
No, thank you.
I'm with Darren on that one.
Listen,
what's that now?
Sanders, I like what he's doing.
I think he needs to stay another year, though. I'd like to see him play another year. I don't know if he will. I think a smart move for him would be to stay one more year. Because isn't he a junior? He's a junior.
This is good. This is his third year right now.
Yeah, so I'd like to see that kid stay another year. I think he becomes a serious quarterback another year.
He's not there mentally yet.
He's playing against real teams now. He's playing against real teams. He ain't playing like he was in Jackson State. He's playing real competition now.
But what's his? Hey, if you go look up his stats, though, Fatty,
they're pretty damn impressive.
The kid's good, but I'm saying I don't think he's mature enough just yet.
Yeah, he needs another year. I think if he stays another year, guys, I think this guy's a top 10 pick in another year.
Top 10?
Oh, yeah, in one more year. Give him another year. Not this year. Give him another year. Let him play his senior year. And I think he moves into top 10, top 15.
The thing about it is these guys are making so much money in college right now, they all might stay another year because they're all eligible. They all can stay.
Maybe so.
Right. Here's his stats. I got Shakur's I think that's his name. Sanders' stats for this year. He's 214 attempts, 160 completed for a 74% completion rate, 1781 yards, average 8 yards, 15 TDs, 2 interceptions.
Pretty damn good.
That's bad. 78. That's 74. That's not bad.
I think the level is where I'm at with that. I don't think it's nothing to do with the skills, but you also have one of the best players in the country you're throwing to also.
Yeah, and that kid at number 14, man, I think he's going to make his mark at some point, man. He looked pretty good yesterday. Richie, I know you watched that game.
Yeah, but Dave, look, USC can make anybody's weapons look good.
I'd say that number 4, was it Coop? Yeah, that kid's got something, man. That kid's got something.
Right?
Huh?
No.
He's from Louisiana.
There you go. See, I didn't know that. I didn't. Yeah, that dude, he looks like he just knows how to play receiver, uses his body well, man. He's got good hands. I like what I see in that kid, man.
USC quit yesterday, man.
There, dude.
USC quit yesterday.
I mean, he killed it last year in Louisiana high school.
Yeah, that was a good recruit, man. That kid's got a future.
I'm just a football junkie. I watch high school.
I mean, look, see, even Chuck commented, Arch Manning was making more money than Joe Burrow before Joe Burrow signed his new contract.
Wait, hold on.
Listen,
that might be true, but listen, according to the Mannings, now I know some people that know the Mannings, they wasn't letting Arch take no money because he didn't deserve it yet. He didn't earn it. And you know the Mannings are strong-willed people like that.
Right. So, it's not like they need it.
I know this year alone, Caleb Williams is making $36 million.
Dude, I don't doubt. Look what city he's in, Richie. I mean, it's crazy.
That's his gross income this year with his endorsements, his NI, all that. It's $36 million.
How many Jimmy John sandwiches he got to sell for that?
And look, and he's in a city where like USC is probably just as big as a pro team. I mean, let's as the Rams. I mean, how many times LA's lost?
They did a comparison. Franchise. Well, they did a comparison. Bryce Young signed a 4-year, $37 million contract this year. He's gonna Caleb Williams is gonna make that this year alone.
Hey, what about the Bills, man? Good night.
Ooh, they're back, man. Richie, I don't think Richie's worried about Josh Allen anymore. Richie, I got to give you a little grief on that one, man. You and Fatty, I think y'all were worried about Josh Allen a little bit a couple weeks ago, man. That dude is back.
Dave, he's still running the ball.
Not as much, though, man. I think it's not as often. His carries have been down a little bit this year. Ken Dorsey finally got the memo, like, hey, this dude's like a top 3 quarterback. You don't have to get him pounded.
If you ask me who the 2 best teams in the NFL is right now, me personally, I would put the 49ers and the Bills.
Hey, dude, how good is Brock Purdy, man? He's about to be, what, 10-0 or 9-0? What is it today?
Because I tell you what, McCaffrey's playing out of his mind. McCaffrey's playing out of his mind right now.
How many?
That's a good team, man.
He had 3 touchdowns in the first quarter.
Who?
McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That dude's like a fantasy assassin,
points in the first quarter was McCaffrey's.
On my fantasy teams, he's already got me 38 points for the day.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, Fatty, you drafted McCaffrey?
Yeah, I drafted him.
Lucky bastard.
But look, check this out. Look, the guys in my league, the problem was they forgot all about the suspended guys. So I got Kamara, Jonathan Taylor, and your boy from Atlanta. I can't think of his name. Richie knows his name. I always forget his name.
From where?
Atlanta, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, so I got all 4 of them on my team. How did I manage that? It's amazing.
In my keeper league, my starting lineup right now, I got Patrick Mahomes, Christian McCaffrey, Kenneth Walker, Stephon Diggs, Amari Cooper, and Travis Kelce.
Bro, what you playing with, a bunch of dummies?
I was about to say, I got to play with the leagues that you guys play in. I don't even think I've been setting my lineup in the league we're in, Rich.
Keep all your players, no matter what, as long as you're under the salary cap.
Golly.
So, but yeah, man, listen, I'm glad. Man, I don't know what I'm so aggravated right now, dude. I'm trying to.
Look, it seems like everything went downhill after halftime of last week. I mean, can we agree at least on that? And I'm not pointing fingers away. It just seems like we were riding high. We looked like we were about to be 3-0, and halftime on, we've just been a different team.
Listen,
3 halves in a row.
6 quarters.
I don't know. I don't know if y'all would agree with me. This team's gonna have a hard time winning 5 games this year.
No, come on now, don't do that.
Richie, we got. You can't look. The thing is, we got to bounce week to week. I mean, look at Dak. Everybody's throwing Dak under the bus, and he's rolling today. I mean, it's week to week, man. I mean, you can't get too high. You can't get too low.
So you're gonna take him against Belichick on the road?
Absolutely, that team's a disaster. You watching that game right now? I mean,
I don't know. I'm glad to agree with Richie.
Yeah,
I mean,
what's the score in this game right now?
There's no positive. I mean, what can you say was positive that's been happening?
It's 31-3 right now.
But what's the positive, Dave? You're going into New England, going against Belichick.
What's the positives with the Saints? I mean, you have a lot more talent than New England, I believe, on your team. I mean, that's one.
A lot more talent than Tampa Bay.
So I think Tampa's not as bad as. I think Tampa's a better rounded team than New England is. They're a little more well-rounded.
Dave. If you remember, during the preseason when me and you were talking, and I was on the show. Remember, I said people are underestimating Tampa. Remember, I said that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, Tampa, dude, I mean, let's be real.
They got a veteran team. They still have a veteran team.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, dude. That front seven, I mean, dude, you got guys like Vita Vea, Levante David. I mean, Devin White. These dudes can ball, man. I mean, like one of the best receiving duos in the league for the past, like, what, 6 years, 7 years? I mean, dude, they have players. I mean, people are crazy. I mean, look, the question was Baker, and Baker's playing good. So, I mean,
but listen,
everything else is falling into place.
Darren is a coach, and he will tell you he's no world beater, but Baker Mayfield is playing smart football right now.
I'd take him over Carr right now.
I'd take him over any quarterback on our roster, hands down, right now. I mean, but the problem is we're married to Carr. It's not going to change. I mean, Darren will tell you. I mean, you're not going to invest in this guy and say, hey, we're going to bench him this week unless he's seriously hurt, which I don't think is the case. I mean, you got Derek Carr has to be better. I think the play calling has to be better. I mean, offensive line showed some slight positives today. I would say if you want to talk about a positive, I would say they were slightly better today. Having Kamara back is good. But, I mean, this team needs a wake-up call, man.
Hey,
and
Darren,
maybe a change does have to happen somewhere.
Darren, Cooch from St. Bernard said I cheat in fantasy.
You mean my cousin Cooch, Anthony Cuccinella?
Yeah. He said Richard cheats in fantasy football.
You changed the scoring rules during the game, huh?
Hey, it's a keeper league. It's a keeper league, man. Listen.
Just play Dynasty and get it over with. Dynasty is real fantasy.
Talking football, everybody knows I hate Holy Cross, right? But
yeah.
Do I have to give them credit for beating Giant Curtis, man? Come on.
Nice.
Yeah.
I told you.
Darren, I know you keep up with high school, man. We got to bring you on for a segment just for that.
I'd love to do that every week, man, because I got to get acclimated, man. My kids are in high school. I don't even know the rest of it. I know their school, and that's about it. I got to get acclimated, man.
Oh, man.
We love you too, Cooch.
I keep up with everything, man. I do.
I know you do.
Football junkie.
Speaking of high school, my closest friend and a friend of Richie's son had one of the greatest games I've ever witnessed. Seth, 3 touchdowns the other night in the game. He single-handedly beat Riverdale, Seth.
Wow.
Dude, Easy Son, hey, God, no joke, Richie.
Darren knows Easy. Everybody knows Easy on this show.
Yeah, Easy Son.
That's my dog.
Oh, wait, Easy's son's playing football. Nice, man.
Yeah,
he's good. He single-handedly beat Riverdale.
I need to know who he plays for, because guess what?
Albany.
Albany. He plays for Albany.
Hey, that gives me an excuse to go to another game.
Yeah, Albany. He plays for Albany.
Well, listen, Fatty will love to do it. We'll do a segment this year with high school to catch everybody up on it. We'll bring Darren on. Let's do that, you know?
Hey, let's do it after JT wins the national record.
Sounds like a winner to me, that's for sure.
4 more games and he breaks the national wins record for a high school football coach.
Well, he better. He was coaching Curtis when I was in kindergarten. I'm 46.
He was. But let me tell you what's cool about Curtis that some people don't know. He calls every kid by their first name, and every kid that goes to Curtis, he knows them personally. So, like, it isn't just football for him. It's bigger than that. So my little nephew, he plays for Holy Cross 6th grade, right? Which is terrible. But anyway, tell me how John Curtis was out there. JT Curtis was out there watching the 6th grade team just to see his next players, man.
That's awesome. That's what builds a winner, man. He's got his way of doing things, and it's worked for so long, man.
Yep.
Yeah, it has. Well, listen, guys, we're gonna end it on a good note. I mean, it was a disappointing, man, that was a disappointing lot. Darren, thank you for always joining us, man. I'm glad you was able to hop on last minute.
I appreciate it, y'all.
But we're definitely going to do the high school thing. We're going to bring Darren on throughout the year for different things, too. The man knows his sports. Yes, coach. He does that. Darren, Dave, thank you for joining us. We always do our post game. Fatty, of course. Fatty, our producer, thank you. Listen, everybody have a great rest of a Sunday. No matter what, who that for life, baby?
Hey, let's do it. Who
Later,
that?
y'all.
Bounce back.